A very testy MAGA Representative Nancy Mace had a meltdown at a town hall event, calling a reporter a raging Democrat after the reporter asked a question the South Carolina gubernatorial hopeful didn't like.
So maybe you're confused. Okay. You're very confused. And you're a raging Democrat, so raging leftist with that kind of questioning.
Folks, I'm not one to use the see you next Tuesday word as liberally as our friends across the pond, but after hearing the stuff she spewed at this town hall and watching her explode on this reporter, suffice to say, I might be a little more ragingly liberal with it.
But real men protect women. And Donald Trump has protected women from day one. Day one.
And if that alone wasn't enough to make you agree, the reporter she loses it and has a meltdown on was also a woman. So drop a like and subscribe to Really American if you give a crap about principles, and let's quickly break down this travesty of a town hall.
Republican Representative Nancy Mace kicked off her bid for governor of South Carolina with a town hall in Myrtle Beach. This was last night, and she was met with a friendly audience as she sought to align herself with President Trump's policies, saying she is prepared to be a, quote, super MAGA governor, and says she will be like Trump in high heels, in her words. It's still not clear if she has won the president's endorsement, though. CBS News congressional reporter Torian Small joins us now with all this. Torian, great to see you. Mace is, as you know, joining a very crowded candidate pool. Does she have the support needed to win? And is tying herself to the president the best strategy ahead of the midterm elections?
It's a good question. Does tying yourself to a sexual abuser and alleged PDF file really help your chances for governor? It has worked out pretty well for Republicans so far, which is probably why you had Nancy Mace double down and defend her felon like this.
MAGA did that. And just like I stopped the sanctuary sheriff in South Carolina, you know who else I stopped? I stopped George Stephanopoulos on ABC News. Did you see that? Crazy George Stephanopoulos. He tried to say the president was a rapist, and he's not. He's never been convicted of rape, and I, as a survivor, went to bat for the president over and over and over again because I know, just like we have in Horry County, we got real men in Horry County. That's right. We got real men, and y'all are packing heat, and we appreciate it, but real men protect women. And Donald Trump has protected women from day one. Day one.
Excellent point, Nancy. I've actually compiled a little highlight reel of Donald Trump protecting women. Take a look.
A lot of really creepy statements, actions for sure, but statements that he's made in the past that make me very uncomfortable, certainly as a mother, but as a person who breathes air.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Really creepy statements.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop. You know what? You are sick.
Yeah. It makes me very uncomfortable that he would look at certain other Americans the way he apparently has in the past.
What does Tiffany have of Marlon's?
She's got Marlon's legs.
Creepy.
We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
He's definitely not a typical father.
Creepy.
Now, most people in the town hall seem to care about those instances as much as they care about protecting children, because they basically cheered everything Nancy Mace had to say.
All glory goes to God. I would not be here without his grace today. Number one, thank you. God bless you. Who is sleeping better at night knowing that Donald Trump is in the
But they're not in a cult. And during Mace's audition for a Trump endorsement, she called herself, quote, one of the most serious members of Congress, when then within minutes, she vowed to ban chemtrails and get fluoride out of South Carolina's drinking water. Which is actually really egalitarian of her, because then South Carolinians' teeth will be as rotted as their brains. But the fireworks really kicked off after the event, when a reporter confronted Mace over her touting of infrastructure upgrades tied to the Inflation Reduction Act, the Biden legislation that she opposed. And here for your viewing pleasure is the full interaction of that absolute meltdown.
You think it's okay for politicians who
The
don't
federal
vote for them
federal
to
government,
take credit for...
it's literally our job to make sure that our states get the appropriations that they need when the money is assigned and spent, and grant funding.
Anybody, even when they vote against it.
I vote against almost every spending bill I've ever had before me because of the wasteful spending. This government has spent money on transgender surgeries for kids. It spent money on putting men in women's prisons. We've spent over $26 million at the NIH to castrate mice and test them on a date rape drug. So I, of course, would vote against a bill that did something outrageous like that. But when there's money being appropriated by the federal government, it is literally our job to make sure that we help organizations, government entities, state and local, get those appropriations by supporting them with letters of support. And that's what my office says. That's literally part of the job of being a member of Congress. So maybe you're confused. Okay. You're very confused. And you're a raging Democrat, so raging leftist with that kind of questioning. And I would say as a woman, you might want to think about how you view other women and how you treat other women, the way that you question them, because women are going to lead this country off the brink, and conservative women. The first female president of this country is going to be a conservative woman, not some liberal like you.
Okay, again, just a question about the bill, whether you voted for it or not, and what you're recounting.
This is literally the job of a member of Congress. You might want to look up what a member of Congress does, and maybe read the Constitution next time before asking me such a question.
Okay.
5 times over.
Just looking for clarification in the question.
You clearly need it.
Okay.
Pick up a Constitution and read it.
All right.
Now, allow me to do what that reporter was polite enough not to, and expose this raging stupid bitch. Representative Nancy Mace celebrated a public transit project in her district that was made possible by the infrastructure law, which she called a socialist wish list and a fiasco. Her district received $34 million from the infrastructure law that she voted against, but you know what she voted proudly for? Donald Trump's stupid spending bill that has highlights like these.
So on the 4th of July, Donald Trump signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act into law. This thing is without a doubt one of the worst pieces of legislation in modern history. Here's a little rule of thumb. This bill is good for everything that's bad and bad for everything that's good. It features huge tax cuts for the rich and massive healthcare and food assistance cuts for the middle class and poor. That means you. At least 17 million people could lose their health insurance because of this thing. And since health insurance is the thing that people use to, stay alive, a lot of people are gonna die. At least 51,000 every year because of this bill, according to experts. Oh, but this bill isn't content to just murder Americans today. No. It's going to murder the future as well, because this bill ends the incentives to generate clean energy, guaranteeing we will be pumping pollution into the atmosphere for decades to come. Now, is that because fighting climate change is too expensive? No, this bill doesn't give a shit about saving money because it also adds trillions to the federal debt. And it's not like Republicans are unaware of how toxic this bill is. Senator Josh Hawley called its Medicaid cuts morally wrong and politically suicidal. And here's Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski.
Do I like this bill? No. I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill.
Well, thank you for that clear-eyed evaluation, Lisa, but somehow that didn't stop either of you mendacious f***os from voting for it. I'm but a simple comedian, not an elected representative, but I think the job of a senator is to vote for the bills you think are good and against the bills you think are bad.
And I don't care if she's a member of Congress or not. If Nancy Mace doesn't have the human dignity to not lie to her constituents, verbally abuse journalists, and defend Donald Trump's despicable actions, then I have no problem calling her a raging fucking cunt and showing these highlights of the internet wrecking her absolute shit. Nancy Mace for governor has great genes. Now, setting aside the fact that that statement barely makes literary sense, the ridicule here ranges from the subtle to the downright diabolical. First, on the post itself, you have someone asking, are high heels proper footwear to wear to the shooting range? With Nancy Mace even replying, saying, of course they are. Someone else saying, flat, more on that in a second. As well as, I'm gonna tell my kids, this is Nancy Mace. But one of the best responses that I saw online came from this user.
Now, I have a pretty strict no drinking and posting policy on account of it stressing out my lawyers and a series of embarrassing messages I sent Lil Dicky one time. But that was before Nancy Mace posted this photo. Now, normally I would say this post is asinine, but since she doesn't have an ass, I guess it's just a 9. Nancy, if you're here, who's specializing in propane and propane accessories? No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to be disrespectful. To Hank Hill. Y'all, this is what you get when you have the most inexperienced comms director on the Hill, and your comms director before that was the comms director for George Santos. Like, oh my God, the replies in this, I have never seen Republicans and Democrats more united on an issue in years. Because one thing everyone can agree on is they are so sick of this woman. I mean, some of these I cannot repeat because I will get kicked off this app, but this was one of my personal favorites. If she really thought she ate was a photo. Incredibly strong start to your gubernatorial race, Nance. For the Republicans watching, I know that's a big word for Elmo. Gubernatorial just means relating to the office of the governor. Honestly, if her entire race is gonna be like this, I personally cannot wait.
Savage. Screw Nancy Mace, screw her anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. She deserves every ounce of ridicule she gets from the internet, and for being such a good widow Christian, she deserves her ripe spot in hell smushed between Trump's tiny wiener and Satan's asshole. As my idols Trey Parker and Matt Stone would say, Nancy Mace, eat a bag of dicks.